That's not gonna work. That's not gonna work. Try to see how we're gonna do all of this, right? Because we have computer here and we have, you can't see my hands in the kitchen, unfortunately. Maybe we can fix that. All right, let's go live here. All right, we're live here. We're live here. Let's try to put this away. 1 second, guys. Yeah. Yeah, okay. We're getting better. We're getting better. We're getting there. It's been a minute. It's been a minute, everyone. So I'm just testing out all of this live stuff here and having issues on so many different platforms. So come on. All right. What? It's just so ridiculous over here. I'm trying to go live on TikTok over here, and just giving me all kind of facial recognition. They want to recognize the age of me. Which is all facial recognition, you know. Okay. Am I live right now? All right. Am I live? Oh, we are live. We are. We are live. We are live. We are live. Greetings, everyone. All right, greetings, everyone over here. I'm going to set this a little further so you can see. Uh-oh, making all kind of noise here. So you can join me in the kitchen. All right, that's gonna have to be what it is right there. I hope that works. I hope that works for everyone over there. And yeah, you're live in the kitchen with Chef India from Back to Live by Chef India. We are on these platforms. It has been a minute. It has been a minute. Yes, it has. But we are live and direct. We're even live and direct right over here on TikTok. And we are also shooting for our certification course at the same time. So we have a whole studio thing going on here. We're going to jump right into our session and have some conversations while we do that. I'm just going to go turn on the other camera really quick and I'll be right back. Right back, everyone. Oh, it's just okay. All right. Okay, yeah. So we are back. We are back. And as I said, it's been a while since we have been on. But we're going to jump right into it. You know, a lot of people are not aware of who I am, especially on TikTok. You're not aware of who I am, and even maybe on Facebook. excuse me, Instagram. But I am Chef India Camille from Back to Live by Chef India. And yeah, I'm a raw food chef. I'm an educator. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. There's so much to say, but who wants all of those kind of introductions, right? Like, really, honestly and truly, I love to make raw living food. I love to eat this way. I love to show people how they can eat this way, how they can full enjoy it. I mean, my journey is on my website. You can go look at that if you want to. You can go to YouTube if you want to too. But really, I'm here to just share with you some good eating, some good food prep, some good fruit prep techniques for raw food. And in today's certification course that we're doing, that we're taping for, we are actually covering juicing. And I know that it may seem like, hey, like juicing is such an easy concept. Like everybody's juicing, right? Everybody's juicing. But there are some things that people may or may not know about juicing that they probably should know. And we're going to make some juice in the process while we talk and we do this. But you have to bear with me because I'm not fully prepared. So I need to go and get my equipment, my knife, and I'll be right back. All right, so we're going to cut on the regular camera, and then we got somebody coming in and out here, so don't mind that as well. All right, so if we're going to just jump right into our juicing, they could see you. They could see you. It'll be better if you just walk, because you're like bumping everything in the process. Yeah, it's okay. They could see you. It's okay. That's fine. They know that you're going to come through. Anyways, welcome to the kitchen of Back to Live. All right, so we're going to jump right into juicing. And our juicing, we're going to start with some pineapples. Now, I know there's like this whole craze thing going on right now about don't eat pineapples. You know, they're acidic to the system. They're acidic to the body, right? They're acidic to the body. They're acidic to the system. And I understand that. I get that. I'm sorry, I'm adjusting my lighting too. I know you guys are going to fall out of patience with me, but it's okay. I'm a one-person team over here right now. So I have to try to make it all work. All right. I don't know if that lighting is better. I think it's a little better. Okay. All right. So as I was saying, it's not better on this end, but it's okay. As I was saying, juicing, this whole thing about pineapples, right? Like pineapples are acidic. You don't want, they're not a real food. You know, the fullness is, I don't really know about all of that, right? Like, I don't really know about all of that. I am more so like inclined that my system will let me know when it doesn't need something, right? And if you're just tuning into the live stream, you're here with Chef India Camille. It's been a while since we've gone live. We've never gone live on TikTok. And yeah, I just wanted to reconnect with you guys while I am testing out this whole capability of streaming and of connecting more with you all online and updating you all about all the stuff that's going on. There's so much going on. But yes, so pineapples, back to pineapples. The thing about pineapples is, one, side note, when you are peeling your pineapples, you want to try to get as close to the skin as possible. Some people get really close and they just really just shave off, right? And you can even use a bread knife to do this. It's probably a lot easier when you use a bread knife because it's easier to do the shaving off. I'm going a little deeper because it's very ripe. So some of the outside, it needs to be compost, right? So anyhow, here's the thing about pineapple, right? Pineapple is a cactus, right? It is a cactus. Whether or not I subscribe to if it's acidic to the system, if it causes acid, I don't subscribe to that. I will say that on my healing food, raw vitality journey, it has been very useful and helpful in repairing my gut. And as my gut has been, healing, it has not needed as much pineapple like now, right? So my tolerance levels of pineapple, and trust me, everyone knows when they get too much pineapple. I don't think anyone questions when they get too much pineapple, like what that feels like, right? So yeah, I like pineapple. It's great in juices. It's great to help heal the gut. And your system will let you know when you've had enough, whether that's one little piece or 10 pieces, right? Um, or a whole pineapple for that matter. All right. So we're just gonna drop this right into the bowl here. Boom. Right now, we are making juice for about 3 days. Okay. And when we're talking about the difference in juicing, like what juicers, let's talk about juicers, for example. Juicers. So you have the masticating juicer, you have the cold press juicer, and you also have the centrifugal juicer, right? And they all do different things. They all juice differently, and they all have a different effect on the actual juice that you're going to be consuming, right? So the cold pressed juice are going to be the juices that are probably going to last the longest. And then you have the centrifugal juices that are probably going to last the least longest amount of time, right? They have a shelf life that's maybe a day, I would say, that you want to be dealing with a centrifugal juice, right? If you have to, it's not the end of the world. You don't want to waste anything. But ideally, you would want to drink that right away, right? Because the process does heat up the juice mixture that you're juicing more than it does in any cold press, right? Because the ideal of cold press is cold press, right? So you don't have to worry about it heating up. And so because of that, the juice has a shorter shelf life and the nutrients are not as they say inherently available the same way that a cold press juice is. But I will tell you that for many, many years, I used a centrifugal juicer or a masticating juicer, and I didn't really have any problems. I didn't really see any big, big differences, but there is a difference in the flavor and the taste, and also probably the consistency of a cold pressed juice, because the cold pressed juice has no pulp at all. All right, so we have our pineapple here. We're gonna do 2 pineapples. And we actually went to the orchard and we got some Concord grapes. So we're gonna do a grape juice, right, with pineapple. And we can stretch that. We're gonna add some lemon and give it a little kick, and it's gonna taste like Kool-Aid. Someone wants to pass. He wants to pass. It's okay. All right, cool. All right, cool. So we're gonna put this for the compost. Are there any questions out there? If you have any questions and you just joined the live, it's good to see you. Welcome back. And also, if you have any comments, any questions, if you want to join in on the conversations, just drop a message in that chat box and I will do my best to get to you. All right. Okay. So we have our other pineapple. And see, when the pineapple is ripe, usually you could just pull from here and then it will come off easily. This is obviously very ripe. You see that? You can smell it as well. When they're coming from foreign and they're being imported, it's a whole different reality for how you judge what's ripe and what's not ripe. Usually when you pull it out and it pulls out easily, that means it's ripe. And yeah, and so you don't necessarily have to cut off the head. You can twist it right off. Right. And if you live in the tropics, you could replant it. We've done it on our land in Belize. All right. So we're just gonna move this off of here. All right, so we have our pineapple here. So is it acidic to the system? Like I said, I'm not here to debunk anyone. I could just tell you from experience what it's done for me. And I will also say that usually most, if not all, fruits will have a cleansing effect on the system, you know. And yeah, that's all that I have to say about that. I enjoy pineapple. I don't foresee me stopping to eat pineapple anytime soon. But never say never. Never say never. You don't know. You have no idea. So we have 2 pineapple here that are ripe, and we are just taking off the skin here. We're gonna add some Concord grapes. So about juicing still yet. With juicing, what to mix? When you're juicing your melons, you want to make sure that all your melons are by themselves, right? Unless they're with an essence like passion fruit, or guava, or ginger, right? You really want to keep the melons in the melon family when it comes to juice. The sugars ratio to water ratio is different, and so it may not make you sick, but you may get a little bit of indigestion, right? And so also I also find that it's good to keep citrus really by itself. Orange juice can mix well with papaya. It can mix well with possibly pineapple. Pineapple and papaya would probably be the best mixtures for citrus juices, especially orange juice. Right, so we just have this, and we are gonna do the cold pressed juice with this pineapple and the Concord grapes. And I know that everyone's crazy about the Nama having the ability to where you don't have to chop up the fruits, but I find it to be more efficient when you do it this way. All right, so we're gonna just drop our pineapple in this bowl behind us, and we have some grapes here. Some Concord grapes, right? I did have washed them, but they're very ripe. Oop, oop, they're falling all over the place. They're falling all over the place. They are falling all over the place. All right, we're just gonna, I had rinsed them before, but we're just gonna just rinse them, give it a quick rinse real quick. Okay. All right, now because I'll be right back, I just need to get some gloves and then I will return. All right, so about that juicing, we're gonna sign off of TikTok over here live. Yes. Okay, so I also find that in the AM, it's better to have juices that are less sugary, are less rich, right? Cleansing juices, because believe it or not, especially when you're doing the juice fast or juice cleanse, you definitely want to structure your juices in a way that they are in alignment with the circadian rhythm as well. So like same way when you're eating, you eat a certain way when you wake up, you eat a certain way throughout the day to maintain your vitality. The same way that is the same way when you're juicing or juice fasting that you're going to execute, right? So in the AM, your juices are more for cleansing. That's the purpose of that. But what about at 3 p.m. when you're having brain fog and you're tired and you're like been using your brain all day, or you've been even exercising or whatever it is? What do you do around that time? Do you drink the same watermelon juice? Do you drink the same, what's that, lemonade with some cayenne and some, what is that, lemonade, cayenne, and maple syrup? Do you drink, what do you drink, right? Like, what do you drink? And usually in the afternoon, that's when your body needs the most sugar. So these are when your juices are going to have more sugar. But these are all the things that we are going to need more sugar during that time, right? So that you have that vital energy. But if you have all that sugar in the AM, when your body is trying to, or your goody is trying to cleanse out, right? It's going to be a little slower in that process, because now, you know, you may even get more tired in the AM, whether in the afternoon, it'll be more of a sustaining, it'll have a sustaining effect on the goody, on the body, right? So how to juice in general, like throughout the day, if you're juicing, like what to consume during that time, you definitely want to follow the same way that you are, the same pattern that you would do if you're eating, but now you're just juicing. So think about it that way, right? Your evening juices are going to be more of your juices that bring a stability to the system. So these would be more juices that are not sweet, right? That contain less sugar. Yeah, but these are all the things that we cover in the certification course that we are having, and you are behind the scenes with Chef India Camille. If you've joined the live and you have a comment, or you want to join in, or you have something to say, or you have something to add, please do drop a comment in that chat box, And yes, so all right, we have our pineapple here, and we have our Concord grapes, and we're just they're so ripe, they're just falling right off of the stock here, and we don't have any moldy ones. They're a little wilted, but no mold. So that's what's up. We got some raisin juice. I don't know how old you were when you found out that grapes were raisins or that prunes were actually plums. I was actually very grown when I found out that prunes were plums. I just always just assumed that prunes were just for old people. You know what I mean? And so I never investigated, like, what are prunes? Where do prunes come from? It wasn't until I was grown that I learned that. I was like, wow, really? Okay, now it makes sense. And I love plums as well. It's just growing up, we never really had full access to that because we were living in food deserts. You know, shout out to everyone who's living in food deserts right now. I know it's hard out there on y'all. You know, I know you be having to travel far to get good produce and good options. So big up yourself on that, because I know it's difficult and challenging. All right. So we have our Concord grapes here, falling off. And Concord grapes, you know, I love Concord grapes. I feel like Concord grapes are the medicinal powerhouses of the grape world. You know, they are so medicinal. They are so rich. They're full of antioxidants. You know, they have character. And when you eat them, you can only really eat a few, right? You can only eat a few. In fact, this stuff will cleanse out your gut so good, and it tastes just delicious. It takes me right back to childhood, sitting in church, waiting for that grape juice to come and pass with those little wafers. Because I was always hungry in church, right? So yeah. All right, so we have our Concord grapes here. You know, if I were to estimate the amount that we have about 2 cups of Concord grapes that are ready to go right now. All right, we have some more over there too. Okay, so now that we have the Concord grapes in here, we have about 12 cups of pineapple, or 2 large pineapples that are ripe. And we are going to add some ginger to this. And I have some beets here as well. Now, you know, when you're juicing, that's another thing. When you're juicing, you know, a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, like you're going to use that wrinkly beet. That wrinkly beet is what you're going to use. And absolutely, yes, the beet is perfectly fine. There is no mold on it. Plus, we're going to use it for our lip conditioner here. You know, get that in real quick. That's the next thing about juicing. You know, yes, we're going to use it. You do not want to waste. You know, why waste? Just because it looks bad? We're so accustomed to things looking a certain way in the grocery store. You know, we're so accustomed to that. We're so accustomed to this pre-packaged look of everything, right? When really, honestly and truly, it doesn't work like that in nature. Sometimes nature gives you some real ugly stuff. Like this wrinkly beet right here, but we still have some essence in it. There's still some moisture in it. It's preserved on the inside. And sometimes, to be honest with you, I like to eat them like this once I peel them because they're so soft and they take on a whole nother flavor, in raw food. So if you're trying to get a different kind of texture with beets, this is excellent. But it's also a good way when you're juicing. It is an excellent way to utilize the ingredients that you have instead of rushing to the store all the time. Use what you got. And juicing, sometimes you juice everything in the fridge and you be like, oh, wow, that tastes great. But you didn't make it go to waste, right? You didn't make it go to waste, which is what counts. All right. So we have our beets here. And I am probably going to add, because it's a little sweet, we're going to add some ginger, but I'm also going to add some greens to this juice, right? We're going to add probably some kale, because that's what I have, or some arugula to warm up the system. And yeah, so when you're juicing, one, it saves money. Go through your fridge once a week. We don't like to say week at Back to Live. We like to say strong. But go through your fridge once a strong and see all that you have in there and see what you can use in your juice. And don't be particular. Just make the juice. You know what I mean? See how it turns out. What's the worst it's going to be? It was going to be in the trash can anyways, right? Yeah. And the next thing is that for the masticating juicer, because we're kind of going back and forth in different directions here, but the masticating juicer, how the centrifugal juicer works is it works and it goes around and it spins around centrifugally, right? All right. And that's how it juices whatever you have to juice. Then you have the masticating juicer, which technically is supposed to like twist it and turn it. There is a partial masticating juice called the champion juicer, and it has tiny teeth, and it works to grind down the pulp like this in the chamber before it comes out of the liquid comes out of the spout, right? And then you have the cold press juice. It just works to press and provide some level of pressure that then wrings out the juice, but there's no heat involved in that. Whereas with the masticating juicer, there's heat involved. In the centrifugal juicer, there's heat involved, right? So the juices last less. So it doesn't really, you could say, hey, I'm new to juicing, and you just want to get a centrifugal juicer to start because that's what you can afford. That's better than waiting and not doing anything and having no juicer at all and going, I'm going to wait, I'm saving. But in the meantime, we're still buying juices or we're not drinking juice at all. Right. So, yeah, do what you can with what you have. I think that's the number one rule to anything with raw Back to Live with Chef India, right? Like this is a life, not a style. So what does that mean? That means that you just continue to do what you do naturally without, even when life is lifing. Even when life is lifing, you don't have any money this week. You didn't get no pecans this week. What are you going to eat? You got some avocados. Okay, what are you going to do? So this is real life that we're dealing with. So you want to stick in that with real life, right? You want to stick in that routine of being practical with your consumption with raw food, with juicing as well. Okay, so if you need to start with a centrifugal juicer, hey, I think all of us started with a centrifugal juicer. There is nothing wrong with that. The next thing is that you can also strain your juices. So we will get into that directly, where you can use the blender to make some juices and strain them. So sometimes that's easier. Sometimes it's easier, especially if you have a Vitamix blender, right? Some people are confused about if juices are the same as smoothies. The difference is usually the pulp, right? The pulp is really what identifies that it's a smoothie versus a juice. A juice usually the pulp is extracted completely from that, right? You may have a little bit of pulp coming from a centrifugal juicer, or even the cold press J2 Nama, you still have some level of residual pulp. I think the only one you don't is the one that you put into the bag and then you press it. I think it's called the Norman juicer or the Norton juicer, or if you make a press yourself, right? So, so yeah, we're gonna get into juicing this. I'm gonna sign off here. You know, try it for yourself. We got some kale and some greens, some arugula. I would love to have some dandelion. Actually, I would probably put some collard greens in here over kale. So I'm gonna do collard greens and also some dandelion leaves and some amaranth, which is callaloo. I'm gonna do that right now with this grape and pineapple and ginger juice and beets. I'll check in with you guys soon, and we will come right back for our juicing part 2 segment for the certification. And we are signing off here on YouTube online. Listen, join us. Look out for our updates. We are back. I am back. I know it's been a couple of years since I've been consistent, but I'm ready now. You know, I'm ready now. I'm definitely ready. I have so much to share with all of you, and I will see you soon.